For some reason, Don Bluth keeps showing up here. As good as he is when he's good, he's already made 2 appearances on this show before with Anastasia and Thumbelina. 2 terrible movies. But today I'm going to discuss the literal death for Don Bluth as an animation director, Titan A.E. Titan A.E. was a 2000 post-apocalyptic sci-fi animated film, and was a complete disaster at the box office. Like Anastasia, this film does have a fan base, and has since formed somewhat of a cult following, so I want to make things clear right now. I hate this movie. Bluth has made far, far worse, but this film in particular just rubs me the wrong way. More power to you if you like it, but man, this film annoys me. I usually try to keep things fair, but it's gonna be hard this time around. The reason why will hopefully be apparent by the end of the video. Don't say I didn't warn you. This is Titan A.E. This movie has other problems, and I will get to them, but the biggest one is this. I loathe our main character, Kale. That's not because of the voice actor. I think Matt Damon did fine with what he had to work with. The problem is that what he had to work with absolutely sucks. He's given this tragic backstory where a scientist's dad had to leave him during the apocalypse to set things right, later to die of a fatal case of death. It is sad, but then we get to the Kale from like 15 years later, and if he was just introverted, quiet, and brooding, then it would just be cliched, but this guy is a whiner.
No. I'm not tech. I do an honest day's work. I want already dead food. Well, what for?
Oh, great. Yeah, no one would ever think of looking for us in the vent.
Every day I wake up, it's still the present. The same grimy, boring present.
I'm gonna listen to Radiohead. They understand me. The movie tries to paint him as cool, but that falls flat on his face too. This guy spends the entire first half of the movie getting captured and needing rescue. I counted 4, but I know I missed some. But he goes beyond being whiny and lame. He's also a pretty reprehensible person. Through some scientific mumbo-jumbo that I'll explain later, he is the key to saving the world. He finds this out, and this is his first question.
We never even addressed what's in it for me.
Well, besides the fact that you're saving humanity, nothing. But the bad writing hits its apex at the end of the first act. I cannot possibly like a character that would say the following line.
Well, if I don't like the way things are going, I'll show you how much like my father I really am. I'll leave.
Really? What is this guy's problem? I have absolutely no idea why he is so intent to screw over the entire human race. Is he really so petty that he thinks that his feelings are more important than the future of all humanity? Man, this character sucks. But even worse than that is how mean-spirited that line was. I am aware that life dealt him a crappy hand, but the fact that he would turn his dad's sacrifice into a bitter punchline is appalling. I wanted to punch him through the screen. It sucks that he lost his father, and presumably his mother too, since she's never even mentioned. But he does realize that they died trying to save the world, right? And he honors that sacrifice by doing everything in his power to make sure that his dad died in vain. Yeah, I hate him. Like, a lot. The next giant problem with this movie is something that I actually can't say for most of the other Don Bluth films. I do not care for the animation. The 2D, when it's by itself, is okay, and the 3D animation, when alone, is okay. The problems come when they're mixed together. I have never seen a movie with so many superfluous spinning shots. It just doesn't look good. And you can tell the movie is proud of it because it shows it off as often as possible. But it culminates in the last shot of the movie. I present to you the funniest thing you've seen all week. Wow! You would think that by the year 2000 there would be better animation to hand than the Atari Jaguar CD, but apparently not. Also, the look of the film in general is giving me serious Star Wars vibes, especially in the character design. I keep expecting them to go to a bar. And while I'm on the subject of animation, I also feel the need to address the healing scene. the movie is still PG, but don't say you didn't have any warning.
What's going on?
Freed, you're in my light.
Ah, such motherly concern for the subject.
Why am I naked?
Yes, why is he naked? That deserves an answer. Ah! Why did Don Bluth just moon me? It's just so pointless. I would love to hear how that got written into the screenplay and what they told the person who had to animate that. But as bad as the animation is, the soundtrack is even worse. Not the score is fine. I'm talking about the hilariously out-of-place montage music. I'm sorry, but post-grunge just does not strike me as particularly sci-fi. But I guess I also might as well talk about the characters and the story. Like I said, the story is about Kale, and he joins a ragtag team of space pirates to find the ship Titan, which is basically Earth 2.0, complete with enough DNA to repopulate the entire planet. I'd question how DNA alone can create life, but that isn't even close to the leaps in logic this film has.
Exhale. You gotta be kidding.
What?
Exhale.
No. 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 No, 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 no. No, 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 no. 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 But I will question why humanity felt the need to make this. Were they really that paranoid that the world would end? That looks like it would cost a lot of money to make. Anyway, let's talk about the crew of the ship looking for Titan. We have Corso, the resident curmudgeonly captain. He isn't very interesting. Next is Akima, the love interest, played by Drew Barrymore. Her personality is that she's... nice? Yeah, they never really gave her much of an identity. We also have Preed, the only character who seems as bored as I am. He actually delivers the punchline in the only funny scene.
I need a new slave rather badly.
Stop visiting, worm!
See my problem?
You're lying. He's not a slave and you're not traitors.
But
he doesn't carry himself like a slave. Look at the way he stands. Probably ex-military. Ukrainian traders always threaten before they ask a favor. It's tradition. Your robes are made out of bedspread.
Just out of curiosity, did we have a plan B? An intelligent guard. Didn't see that one coming.
Okay, that got a bit of a chuckle out of me. Next is Goon. He is very annoying.
Perfect! You fixed it!
Lastly is Stith. Played by Janine Garofalo, she is an irritable and sadistic alien kangaroo who wants to kill everything she sees. I knew it! And then we have the Dredge, the most illogical and confusing thing in this entire movie. The Dredge are the big baddies that exploded the Earth. The reason why is the stupidest thing ever.
Had the potential to change humanity's role in the universe. We called it the Titan Project, and it was a testament to the limitless power of the human imagination. Perhaps that is what the Dredge feared most, for it brought them down upon us without warning and without mercy.
Yes, they were scared that humanity was becoming too powerful, so they decided to just wipe us out completely. Do I even need to say what is wrong with this plan? Well, they never explicitly state that humanity had ever even heard of the Dredge, or even if they were violent in intergalactic relations. So that means that the Dredge's paranoia is both pointless and without warrant. But then we have the real irony with their plan. When the humans got the Titan Project, the Dredge destroyed the Earth. Then, when the Dredge got wind of the salvage mission, they tried to intervene and in the process got completely wiped out. Self-fulfilling prophecies, everybody. Also, the character design of these things confuses me. They say that they're pure energy, like multiple times. I'm not exactly sure how a creature with no mass can do much of anything, but whatever. The biggest problem with the energy motif is that they have hilariously escapable prisons. Seriously, if you have 2 fingers, you can escape from a Dredge prison in like a minute. It's kind of hilarious. But what better way to compliment a terrible hero, bland supporting cast, and mind-numbing villains? With a boring story, of course. This is how the whole Kale is the chosen one thing works. His dad gave him a ring that becomes a map when put on his finger. The ring is genetically wired to the family DNA, so only Kale can use it effectively. A character named Kale, who is one of the few survivors of a race whose planet exploded, and is also extra special because of his genetics, and is destined to save everything. Truly, this is the most inspirational and original story of our time. Well, one problem with the story is that they reveal the whole father dying backstory right from the get-go. In most movies like this, it would start out post-apocalypse, and after we get to know the characters a little bit better, we're told the tragic backstory then. This is much more effective because we took time to care about the characters. So they blew that and the movie has barely started. Another thing I noticed is that the story just doesn't seem to be worth 90 minutes, so the writers just kept adding twists along the way. At the end of the second act, it is revealed that Corso is really working for the Dredge, and he really wants to destroy the Project Titan.
Rich, we had a deal, right? How dare you try to cut me out like that? Yeah? Do as you please, and guess what? You'll retrieve nothing. You don't have the whole map. The kid's got it, and I've got the kid.
Holy plot twist, Batman! So Kale and Akima escape and have to find the Project Titan before the Dredge, which they were doing anyway. And to make that betrayal even more pointless, Corso just joins their side at the end anyway. But to make things even more emotionally muddled, Preed turns traitor too.
Well, I learned from the best.
Burn. But seriously, what point does this serve other than to make an already contrived story even more contrived? It's just not a very well told story. So that means that I didn't care for any aspect of Titan AE. I think that the main reason why this movie bugs me so much is that it is bad in all of the boring ways. It's not even funny or really even that interesting, it's just sort of milquetoast and awful. Also, say what you want about Thumbelina, Anastasia, and his other bad movies, those are products that could only have been made by Don Bluth. This is just generic. If you like it, good for you, really, but it didn't do anything for me at all. See you next time on the show with no name.